Senator Welch.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you both for being here. Big admirers of both of your careers and the folks who you work with. I understand, Ms. Argentieri, that mobsters don't particularly like you. That's good for you. And let's hope that you strike the same fear in corporate bad actors. So the question I have, all of us want this incredible cost. That there's two costs, I think, of corporate crime. One is, according to the FBI, it's about $300 billion, whereas street crime is about $16 billion. So there's real economic loss. But there's also a real erosion of confidence in a lot of our institutions. And to the extent citizens have a sense that big corporations can just get away with it, and it's a, quote, consent decree, which may result in some reasonable outcomes but no real accountability, it creates an immense amount of frustration, I think, for everyday folks. And what are some of the obstacles that make it tough for there to be more, standing in the way of more prosecutions for more corporate crime? Could you just elaborate on that?
Yes. So as I said, I think we in the criminal division are focused on bringing the most impactful cases because we think by doing that, we can really drive change in industries. And so the obstacle, and I think we are doing a very good job. The numbers bear out that we're doing a very good job at that. Like since 2017, over 90 corporate resolutions and declinations, $30 billion in fines. With more resources, we could do more. But I also think that deferred prosecution agreements, non-prosecution agreements, those are really serious agreements that are highly negotiated, and they require forward-looking change by a company. So they're not a pass.
No, I want to ask about that because I know that's true. I'm a lawyer, so I get it, and you negotiate some reasonable standards for going forward. But aren't there some folks who just ought to be in jail for what they did?
So we follow the facts and the law. We provide and then in line with the principles of federal prosecution. That's how we make charging decisions. And for companies, that's why individual accountability is such a priority for us, because you cannot put a company in jail. And that's why you've seen so many policies Let
me ask this. Should there be more authorities? I mean, what's this? Companies can't go to jail, but companies are people. They're run by individuals. And the incentive for a lot of the CEOs is to boost the profits at whatever, by any means possible, and then boost their salary. And are there some things that we could do that would address the accountability issue where they skate and the company does something in terms of your agreement that's beneficial to the public, but the public sees the executives who are responsible not being held accountable? So are there things that we could do here that would enable you to put the folks who should be in jail in jail?
So thank you for your interest in that. We're happy to work with you on specific legislative proposals. I think we do have some. But I think what I was going to say about our policies is what they're really driving is for companies to self-disclose misconduct we might not otherwise know about.
Right.
And what that enables us to do is to prosecute the individuals responsible as a result of our independent investigation, where we go out and get evidence.
Okay.
Well,
let me just, I'm towards the end, but thank you. And thank you for your work, and thank you for all the folks in your department's work. And Mr. Olson, the companies, you do great work in foreign protecting our national security. Appreciate that. But what about some of these bad companies abroad? There must be incredible obstacles to prosecution. Can you tell us what those are? And in a very short time, are there things we could do to be of help to you to do your job?
Yeah, I mean, we do face challenges, but when we talk about enforcing sanctions and export controls, actors overseas, whether they're companies or individuals who carry out cyber attacks against our companies and our critical infrastructure. So there are just obstacles to being able to investigate and prosecute entities overseas. We are really aggressive, though, in going after them. And if they touch on the U.S. financial system, they interact with individuals or companies in the United States, then we bring charges. When I was in Ukraine last month talking about stopping the flow of U.S. goods that were finding their way into Russian weapons. The Eastern District of New York, the U.S. Attorney's Office there, along with my division, brought two cases against companies and individuals in New York who were part of that supply chain. So we need to find those connections between those overseas entities and those in the United States that we have jurisdiction over in order to enforce those laws. But to your other question, by enforcing those laws, we do send a strong deterrent message, and we raise up those cases, as the video that was shown at the beginning of the hearing, where the Attorney General gave the press conference about Binance. We're trying to raise those cases up in order to bring that broader deterrent message to home.
Thank you very much. My time is up. I yield back. Thank you.
I want to thank both the witnesses for joining us today. We appreciate your testimony and insight. Thank you again.